Hi everyone. This is Amit from itwarnews.com, and today we have got with us Mr. Pratik Shah, who is the Managing Director, India and SAARC for F5. A very warm welcome, Mr. Pratik, for this interesting fireside chat today.
Absolutely, my pleasure, Amit, and thanks for inviting me. I hope we're gonna have some good conversation around what's going on in the market.
Exactly. That's what we are going to talk about. So let's start the first question with the key trends that you are seeing in the cybersecurity market today. So cybersecurity has been at top of the town right now. So what are the unique trends that you are seeing in this market, particularly in the India and SAARC region?
Oh, okay. Yeah, while there are a lot many trends that are coming up, I believe something that's really important nowadays, and there's a lot of conversation going around is, India has actually become the data capital of the world, right? Look at the kind of data that a population of 1.4 billion, you know, people is generating the kind of data. And with the kind of that kind of data that is generated, that is kind of lift from um, the culture towards the artificial intelligence, and lot many transformation companies are riding on this particular data to come up with the kind of LLM products that can help them with a better productivity to reach to their customers, to service their customers and things like that. So I believe uh, I think this is one of the big trend that I'm seeing across the Indian and South Asian market. And the same trend I'm also seeing across even other countries in APCJ, wherein there's a lot of AI factories that are getting built, a lot of conversations around GPU as a service, so that the team can work on writing some kind of LLMs that can help them to solve a particular problem or give them a kind of competitive edge. So that's one trend that I see. I also see specifically on the cybersecurity side, I believe one of the important thing that customers have started looking is the app portability between the different environments. We are already living in an environment which is completely hybrid in nature. You know, while talking to a lot of our customers, we realize that not one, not two, there are six hybrid environments they live into, right? And this I'm talking about a large enterprise with DC and co-location and public workloads across all different hyperscalers, etc. And on top of that, the Kubernetes services which are also running, right? So what I'm trying to say is that app portability has become uh, an interesting topic, especially when we talk about serving your customers at the same time transforming your own environment. With that, the the increasing efforts toward improving the connectivity of these applications, right? So that's where the multi-cloud networking comes into picture. How do you kind of with the distributed workloads or hybrid environment, how do you kind of provide those kind of seamless connectivity is really important. And more importantly, with all of this, I think the applications and API are at the center of the transformation. How do you improve your application security framework and the API security framework is definitely some of the trends that I see in the market.
Really, really. I can recollect that F5 recently launched its state of API security report 2024 for the APAC region. So can you let us know the key findings and how can businesses in India leverage them to enhance their security strategies?
So at F5, we have this state of API report or state of application security report. And this we come out on a very frequent basis as well. The objective here is to kind of, provide key findings and especially some of the security strategies that most of the modern enterprises are working on. As part of this survey, what we have seen that the issues like broken authentication or server side request forgery. These are some of the security concerns across India and other markets, which is actually leading to lot many challenges on the application and API security, right? And hence to overcome this kind of challenges, lot many organizations are focusing on improving their API security framework, which actually starts with uh, complete monitoring of APIs, ensuring there is no misconfiguration, ensuring that there is a proper access control to those kind of APIs, which also includes authentication and authorization, especially for those APIs. And eventually, it's also important that they have a holistic API security model in place, which looks at uh, not only the runtime APIs, but also looks into the code analysis of the APIs, so that if there's any misconfiguration or any vulnerabilities that are part of the APIs that can be fixed therein without it before it gets much into an environment which can probably expose to the hackers and attackers. So I think integrating code security using AI ML kind of environment is another aspect that most of the customers have started looking at. Not every customer is in that journey. I think this is a journey which will take some time, but at least the realization is there between all the CISOs and the CHs of fatality is that they need to invest more into API security framework. Some of them have been investing into API gateways, which can address some part of the challenges, like for example, rate limiting and authorization and authentication. But the problem when it comes to the rogue APIs or shadow APIs or the APIs which are not been discovered is still a larger problem that cannot be addressed using API gateway. And hence, looking at the holistic API security, makes really, critical for our customers. And the API security report that we mentioned, the state of API security report that we mentioned, goes deeper into each of these elements with some kind of examples and some kind of data points as well.
So, if you look at the current market scenario, what are the top security concerns that businesses in India and across the APEC region are facing, and how are they evolving in the light of new trends?
Yeah, sure. I think the AI buzzword is actually no more a buzzword. It's become a mainstream technology, and the transformative impact of AI is remarkable. And we all believe that it's going to be an exciting time. Uh, you know, as the AI deployment comes into mainstream, technology. So what I'm actually looking at is let's look at a scenario where we are talking about a DPI framework. Well, DPI framework is a digital public infrastructure. It's a public private partnership which was actually introduced by government about a decade back, which actually combines the power of technology, governance, and the civil society. It actually extends this solution to some of the use cases like biometric identification, fast payments, and consent-based data sharing to 1.4 billion citizens across India, which allows them access to those kind of public services which are delivered from this digital public infrastructure, right? Likes of Aadhaar, likes of passport, likes of GST and etc. These are part of the digital service that are launched, right? What's really important is that the data behind this, and like I mentioned, India has become a data power, or have become the data capital of the world. The concerns around this are around data gravity, right? Ensuring that uh, that critical data is secured, reliable, and also available at the times when it is required is definitely one of the important elements that we are seeing in the market nowadays. Okay. And the top security concerns are also addressed towards how do you ensure those kind of data security parameters are in place. Okay. So this is one side of it. The second side of the story is like, when we talk about these AI models, right? There is no AI without APIs, right? APIs serve as eyes, ears, and hands of these API systems, which are actually connecting between humans, AI systems, and the other digital tools which are available, right? And if you look into some of the reports by Gartner also, right, close to about 70% of the traffic that we see now flowing across the network is API driven. What it really implies is that organizations have to look into what kind of APIs are getting exposed, what kind of APIs are entering into the environment, and especially in a supply chain and a third party environment where a company is completely exposed to an APIs of the outside world. Let me give an example, like companies like Spotify, for example, right? The business model of this company is primarily exposing APIs to the outside world and absorbing those kind of APIs which are available, right? For this kind of organization, which is completely API first and the business model is completely API, and for that matter, it could be any fintech organization as well, which is kind of, working on this open API framework. It's really important for them to look at, a secured API framework, which starts with managing and monitoring of these APIs, ensuring that it is regulated and secure all the time. At the same time, let me give an example of an organization. Like for example, let's look at fintech, right? Between the fintechs, there could be a service provider who is providing some kind of service to that particular financial services organization, which might have um 6,000 APIs endpoints or 6,000 endpoints, but for the financial service, they might only want about 60 endpoints to be consumed, right? But look at the kind of risk that they are exposing to with that particular service provider who's exposing those 6,000 endpoints, or which only 60 endpoints are important to this particular business. Important here is this financial services company has this data which is residing behind these endpoints. With the kind of exposure this third party APIs can have, it's really important that you secure and expose to whatever is required for you, right? What there's definitely, there's a merit to the service providers exposing those kind of endpoints. But then when we look into the framework that we are talking about, it's really important that how do we have a secure framework in place, right? So these are some of the challenges that we see around APIs and around data security.
So, how do you think that organizations can better manage IT infrastructure complexity, including the concerns that you just mentioned, to prevent cyber attacks and ensure their business continuity?
Yeah, I think governance, management, monitoring, framework, these are obviously broad topics, but each one of them are really important, and especially when it comes to awareness, right? So the data says that from the knowledge workers that we have in India, the adoption of Gen AI tools, okay, is close to about 92% in India, which is significantly higher than some of the other countries, which is at 75% between the knowledge workers, right? What does this mean? There's an increased use of these Gen AI tools in your business environment. What's really important is that when we start consuming this kind of AI tools, what kind of data upload happens is really important to see, because, and if it is not monitored and managed, there is a chance that the systems can get compromised, right? So, when we look into organizations who are looking at better management of this IT infrastructure, I think governance, management, monitoring, awareness, these are some of the really important things, right? The other thing that is also important is that, we have seen in the past with the global outages that I will not take any specific names here, but look at kind of global outages that has happened in the industry, right? Time and again, our businesses have sacrificed uh, or compromised because of that, right? And we have seen the kind of the kind of consequences because of this kind of global outages, right? How do organizations build a resilient program so that this IT outages, which might continue to happen in future, but their business continuity remains at the top of their agenda, right? Uh, so that's one.
Yeah.
The other thing that I'm also seeing is that when we talk about better management of IT infrastructure, I guess nobody wants to manage an infrastructure which is growing and dynamic, right? You still want to provide that agility to your business when it comes to large scale deployment, or sometimes it also happens that vendor lock-in is another issue that we are seeing, especially when we talk about a company which is growing in, right? So these are some of the challenges that we see that most of the companies are kind of working to manage their IT infrastructure and the complexity around cyber ethics and business continuity.
Very well. Very well. So, could you share some insights into F5's journey in the Indian market, and what are your recent business achievements that you would like to highlight?
All right. Okay. So I believe we are in exciting times within India and definitely the countries which are growing. With the kind of AI mainstream technology that has come into picture, and more importantly, awareness around hybrid application security solution. We believe that we are at the right spot. In fact, we are the only company we can uh, be much more relevant for our customers who are actually truly hybrid in nature. Okay. Some of the offerings that FI has are definitely ahead of the curve. Like, for example, reducing the complexity of multi-cloud networking is something that we have been, you know, uh, setting that particular market in India. The other market in India that we are very strong on is API and AI security, right? With the kind of AI use case that are coming to the mainstream, how do you enforce AI and API security, which goes hand in hand, right? As I said, AI is you can't imagine AI without APIs, right? API is controlling the complete AI environment, right? The other thing that we have also done is we have kind of leveraged this kind of AI ML models and this kind of AI enabled services into our cyber defense, also so-called our offering, which allows our customers to consume this kind of you know breakthrough technologies to improve their defense, right? um, and especially when we talk about the cyber defense kill chain, right? I'm sure you would have heard about there's a process of kill chain when it comes to cyber security. There's big difference in the API security. According to me, the 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 word kill chain does not exist in the API security. It is kill shot, right? And hence it is really important that the reason why I'm saying this is, let's look at a incident which is a cybersecurity incident. It could be some kind of phishing email. It could be some kind of endpoint compromise. All of this is visible. You're getting my point? All of this is visible. But look at API breach, right? API breach is not visible.
Yeah.
Okay. You will only come to know that you are breached or you have an API breach only when your data is exposed or you have some kind of information coming in there later on, right? Hence, what I say is that it's a clear shot, right? what we believe is that we are the only company who's got holistic API security solution in place, which does not only look at the runtime API security, but also looks into the API discovery use case, API vulnerability and pen testing, also ensuring that there's a constant monitoring of APIs and all of that. So I think it's going to be an exciting time for us and for our customers and partners.
Very good. Very. So, I mean, as we can see that F5 has got a fair focus on channel partners. So, would you be able to share your recent initiatives for channel partners, and how do you plan to expand your channel presence in India?
Oh, I definitely I firmly believe that innovation should not stop, and the innovation could be uh, not only limited to the products that the OEM comes up, but the innovation even at the partner end to kind of integrate this kind of technologies for a better outcome and have complete stack visibility for our customers. So what we have done is we continue to make that kind of investments with our partner community. We call them as Unity Plus partners. And with the kind of you know new innovations and new solutions that we have brought to the market, especially in the space for AI security or for that matter, application security, we have been constantly doing FI academies, which is allowing partners to get a hands-on labs, get into training modules, get into some kind of mock attack simulation and things like that that can allow them to not only look at the kind of techniques that attackers are using, but also to look at how do we prevent that. After all these investments and all of this that we are doing is to ensure that our defense is better compared to the attackers, right? So how do you kind of improve our defense level, not only at the business as usual, but even during the time of attack, right? How do you respond back to those kind of attacks, etc.? How do you overcome this kind of challenges, etc.? So we have done a lot of investments around this kind of use cases with our partners as such. Yeah.
So,
And the other thing that yeah the other thing that I'll also mention here is that I mentioned this, right? We are talking about a significant part of data security, and within data governance is also really important. So as a company we also have to ensure that we are following the right compliance and regulatory framework when it comes to any services that we are providing to our partners and customers, right? So as part of the SaaS services that we are providing, we have ensured that we are complying to all kind of compliances and the regulatory frameworks with the data localization and data handling, and also providing our partners to kind of provide managed services on top of the SaaS offerings that we are providing, so that they can add a services component on top of the SaaS offering that we have.
very good. Very. So, any plans for channel expansion? Means any word from you?
Yeah, sure. I think with the kind of the use cases that are you know transforming, uh, our horizon of partnership has also im- is increasing, right? Um, like when we talk about partnership model, generally we talk about a generalist and a specialist, right? Generalists are the players who can provide most of the IT solutions available as such, and there are specialists who are with subject matter expert with the deeper domain expertise, etc., right? And we believe that in the domain of DevOps, in the domain of DevSecOps, and the domain of multi-cloud complexity, right? There is huge scope available, and with the with AI enabled services coming into picture, I believe this will multifold our horizon with the partners as well. So this is one of definitely I see. There's lot many transformation partners who are coming to us and talking about AI security. Like for example, there are lot many technology companies that are building LLMs for their customers. They are interested to know what we do in the AI security space, because they what they want to do is that while they are building their LLM, and then they also want to ensure their security best practice followed within their development cycle as well. So these are some of the new avenues that we are exploring.
Very, very. So, if we talk about the key strategic priorities for F5 in India, so what are the big bets you are placing in this market in the coming years? What are the top priorities that you have got?
I think the top priority definitely is around AI. AI is opening the new world of possibilities for everybody, and we all are excited. We have kind of for this particular use case, we are working with lot many technology partners, hyperscalers, telco providers, etc. We are building joint use cases. We are coming up with press release. We are working on some solving some complex use cases as such. So this is definitely priority. We have already made some announcements around uh, joint product development with Intel, NetApp. We are going to make few more announcements with other technology partners as well, making it much more relevant in the AI era, especially where we talk about three key parts. One is the storage. The other thing is the compute, and the third part is the networking, right? And F5 plays a very significant role in the networking part of it, ensuring that you have better connectivity, you have better secured and reliable infrastructure.
Very, very. So, my last question would be around your outlook for the overall cybersecurity market in India. So, how exactly do you look uh, at the market evolving over the next couple of years, maybe 4 to 5 years from
Like I said, it's an exciting time with AI coming in again into mainstream. I believe that the cybersecurity will come again especially AI security will be one of the top concerns between the large enterprises. And there will be a lot of investments that will go into. In fact, I've already heard that customers have already started shifting their budget from their BAU or some other projects into AI security, or for that matter API security as well. So that's one. The second thing is the journey towards microservices. Is definitely real. Most of the customers are already in their advanced stages of Kubernetes deployment. Many companies are building their super apps that you would have heard about, right? Now, this super app is where they connect to their customers and they connect to the world as well, right? Now, most of the super apps are built on a Kubernetes platform. It could be also multi-cloud in nature, right? So those are some of the things that I believe are in priority, and this will see a constant investment and a constant management, especially from the board as well. So it's an exciting time.
very good. Very good. So, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time. And I must say that the pointers and the kind of information that you gave out has been very in depth and would be very valuable to the overall audience for us. Thanks a lot for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Amit. Pleasure talking to you.
Sure.